on my new super camera mount again. I'm just off to Scotts. Go do some videos. Got that fantastic Ibanez, which I still really like. I borrowed off my pal. Which it didn't really come in for a setup, it came in for an electrics. Something wrong with the electrics, and I fixed it in 5 minutes. And it was like, oh fuck, what did I do that for? And luckily my pal was like, do you want to keep it for a video anyway? Yes! Even though I'd managed to fix it in 2 minutes. Yeah, so I'm going to take that over to what's in the bag episode, and I might even fix his toilet every single time. Like, I don't know how long I've known Scott, a year, 2 years, something like that. Every time I go to his bog, you have to, his flushing mechanism thing, you have to sort of pull there's no top on his cistern, and it's every time I go for a piss, it's normally, you know, later on at night. It's like, I can totally fix that. I just haven't actually done it yet, so I wonder if this time I'll actually get down to doing it. Planning to do it. I've never done it before, but I mean, it can't be that difficult. It's one of those things that it's got a bit of a Land Rover ethic to it. I had my Land Rover, so I had that for about 14 years and the door never closed properly. But you can still sort of work it, and because it didn't totally fail, I kept using it. You know, obviously if the toilet didn't flush, you'd fix it, but it does flush. It's just that you have to kind of put your hand in and pull the clip thing inside it rather than pushing the button on the top like you're meant to. It happens a lot with guitars as well. I have a tendency to leave it, even as a classic. We're talking about the Ibanez, my Ibanez Roadster. The reason I don't play it more often is because of those stupid push-pull pots, which I've mentioned in every single video I've done. I've just never fixed it because it works. Yes, it does work. It's still coil splits. Volumes and the tones all work. It's just that I find them unbearable because of they don't work. Why is this guy driving? Oh god, this person's an absolute lunatic. Oh. Yeah, so I'm going to do a wee flyby at Blitzkrieg, which should be quite a quick journey. Tony's got COVID. Everyone seems to have COVID just now. I don't think that's a buzzword that has been demonetised for a while. So that's Scott was worried about it. His daughter came back from somewhere, a hen weekend I think, somewhere abroad, and had it, and he spent all day last on Monday there in the car while she was sneezing because she's got hay fever, and then she tested positive. So Scott's been worried about it, and he's apparently clear. But the drummer in Kraken House, where we're meant to be going on Monday, we're meant to go down to the studio, but his son was away at a stag weekend in Prague or something, and he came back with it, and he's been hanging about with him, so he's on the danger list. And Tony from Blitzkrieg has apparently tested positive as well. It's just, so he's not going to be there today, which probably means that it'll only be a 2-minute drop off. Lovely guy, but I like to talk, and so does he. If anyone's ever bought a guitar off me, you'll know that. It's like, yeah, so I'll only be 5 minutes. 45 minutes later, yes, right, I need to go, yes, totally. I'm afraid I'm a bit of a talker. Oh, so I don't know, I can't do it again, can I? Can I just go to the Shawarma King again and get one for lunch? I'm kind of hungry. 2 o'clock. So that's acceptable for lunch, isn't it? Things about doing that. Should I just get one for Scott and his lad as well? Anyway, is that too much shawarma? Karma shawarma? Shawarma. Yes, obviously I went straight for the Boy George song. Shawarma, 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 comedian. A mixed kebab. Or a falafel. So I'm also giving Scott not giving him, he was saying he was going to buy one of those wee Blackstar ID core amps for his bedroom. It's like, he was really, I had mine for like a month or something. I was like, what'd you think of this? And it's like, I bought it for my girlfriend, she didn't want it. So it was, you know, she wanted one that was like cream, got a nicer looking one. It's like, alright, I'm in. I don't like that amp. Alright, why not? I still remember actually my mum, when my mum was buying a car, must be just after I passed my test. She was buying a car and it was a Peugeot, this is going back a long way, it was a Gyred, something like that, it was a Peugeot, a diesel Peugeot, which was actually a pretty good car, it was quite a good price. Mum hated it at one of the car showrooms. Okay. And we went to another car showroom, she's like, oh look at that one, oh that's beautiful, oh that's brilliant. And it was like, it's the same car. It wasn't the same car. It was still a Peugeot 309D, I think it was called. Same age. It was a trio model, so it had green seat belts and a green pinstripe along the side. Still the same colour of car, but it had green seat belts. Beautiful, love it. And that, right, okay. So I just give up ever trying to work out women. I don't think anyone's ever done that. So, it can make all the difference. Mind you, in saying that, that's exactly me with that Ibanez, isn't it? The RG, which I always complain about, just feeling they're a bit soulless and it's a bit of a utilitarian tool, and I can't really fault any of the technical aspects of it, but kind of why I don't have an RG apart from my Roadster. And then you'd show me a glitter pink one, it's like, oh, fuck, ass. Yes, that just makes all the difference. And even actually looking at the ones in the, my only gripe, what are my gripes about that guitar again? Like, yes, I'm aware this is the third or one of the 3 videos I'm going to end up doing it. I videoed it last night. I'm going to go take over to Scots I'm talking about just now. My gripes were, what was it? I would probably have preferred if the binding was white, just white plastic, rather than being sort of perloid mother of toilet seat stuff. But not a biggie. And I would have rather the knobs on it were the notched ones rather than the smooth ones. It turns out that the knobs on it aren't original, because I looked them up to see if I could find one. I'm quite interested, I might buy one of these. Originally they come with chrome sort of Telecaster type knobs, and it's amazing the difference that those white Les Paul type knobs make to it. It just looks much better. It's the smallest thing. Obviously it makes no difference. Same thing with my mum's car and its green stripe on it. It's like, that can make all the difference, just having the right knobs. And I do know that from making, building up guitars, when I build up the switch casters and all that. It can make a huge difference, just having the right colour of knobs. It's the smallest thing, doesn't make any difference, you wouldn't even notice it, but it can make a guitar go from being nah to being, oh, that's pretty cool. And you don't even know exactly when it's going to work. Look at the Strongbow guitar, which is away, by the way. Taylor bought it. I wasn't looking at anything. The Strongbow one, it's like, I got the guitar, it was off guy Liam, a lovely guy. Gave me a couple of guitars, been sitting in his attic for a couple of years, I think. Bits. One of them was a sort of purple Strat, which was quite a nice shade of purple. I liked it, you know what I mean? But it had a gold mirror scratch plate on it, and gold knobs, and gold hardware, and it was just a bling fest. Kind of like it looked really cheap, and it's one of those things you don't know until you tried it. And I was like, right, well, I nabbed the neck. It had a scallop neck, so I nabbed that, swapped over with another guitar, and I've not built the actual guitar back up again. But that, and then I got what turned out ended up being the Strongbow guitar, which is a black Strat, and I nabbed the scratch plate off that to put on my Fender Strat because it had been painted. I was like, I need to put another scratch plate. So I was looking through, I've got like a pile of scratch plates, white ones and black ones and all that. And I thought, oh, there's that gold mirror one. Put it on it, bang! That looks awesome. So, and it's like the white pickups, white knobs, gold scratch plate, chrome hardware, black guitar. It just looked brilliant. I think maybe that's one of these things that obviously whoever it is that it's probably a little bit of that in Iron Brew and Buckfast and the Strongbow. It's that the colour scheme has been done by some sort of graphic designer who kind of knows how colours work, and so that combination is just like the gold, black, gold, silver and white. The Strongbow colours is just a good looking, whether I'd put even if I'd put the Strongbow label on it, I just did that because I do the Bucky guitars and stuff. I thought it was a bit more amusing. guitar, go from Binkney to be, yeah. I think there's a wee bit of that happens with the, see like my least favourite type of Strat, the black with a white scratch plate one. Just putting a black scratch plate on it. So it's black and black with white pickups. Oh. Sometimes it can just be enough to make it amazing. There's some art involved. That was saying, I think one of the things about the bucket guitars, it's the fact that they are bucket guitars is quite funny, and it gives it a bit more interest in itself, but the sort of green and yellow and red thing works. And with the Iron Brew, the orange, blue and white works, whether it's an Iron Brew guitar or not. A guitar that's that colour, it's a good, I don't know art. There's certain things you can colour. I remember my pal bought a pair of New Balance shoes when I was about 10 or 12 or something like that. Basketball boots. Well, it wasn't quite 80s, but they were very 80s, and they were purple and yellow and white. And you're like, I bought these new shoes, they're purple, yellow and white. Really? And they just look brilliant. It's like, what a combination. The right shade of purple, the right. That's how I got to this from that Ibanez, which I think, when I was looking it up last night, on eBay, looking at them, there's the green one and there's the pink one, and the green one was the one that I saw in Guitar and I thought it looked absolutely fantastic, but I think I prefer the pink one. It's a complex colour. Mind you, so's the green one. It's not just green, it's green. No, is it yellow? It's a yellowy green. It's a bluey yellowy green. The pink's like the pink one's like that as well. It's pink. It is. Purple pink. Purple, bluey, purple, pink. Fantastic. And I'm all for the sparkle flake colouring as well. Wow, this guy's, my road rage is just building up ridiculously these days. Something to do with just maybe going out at the wrong time. Obviously you go mental going to work in the morning, you know, 8 o'clock to get to work for 9. It's madness. It's good. That's because it's busy though. It's generally when you go about kicking about, you know, like sort of 10 o'clock in the morning when you go out when it's quiet, you get all the people who are also go out at 10 o'clock in the morning because it's quiet. But a lot of those people can only drive at 10 o'clock because they're really crap at driving. So, you know, no spatial awareness whatsoever. You know, I keep seeing it. One of my many pet peeves with driving is when you're going along and there's like, you know, cars parked there on the side of the road, and you get people who avoid the parked car by 8 feet, but don't mind being 6 inches away from you who's driving in the opposite direction. That's what turn out because they just don't know where that corner of the car is, and they assume, right, that says loading only. Can I just? It'd be nice if there was somewhere I could actually just park really easily. That's me parked there. Oh jeez. Cyclists should have to take a driving test. That guy just pulled out in front of me without even looking on a bike. I could easily have flattened him, even in a Panda. Cool. That literally took 10 seconds. No, I made a mistake with one of the guitars I sold to Tony. I think it was maybe one of the first ones. I'd done an Iron Brewcaster, and I think it was too cold and the paint hadn't set properly, so it was kind of rubbing off in bits. So I painted it this time, and I made sure I left it for a few days to make sure it was definitely solid, and lacquered the bastard. So I told the guy behind the counter there. Yeah, till Tuna, I used left-handed paint this time. It was a left-handed guitar. That was what was wrong with it. I used right-handed paint, like an idiot. Again, it's really difficult. See, trying to do left-handed guitars. Obviously, I gave it away. It didn't need set up, but I needed to put new strings on it and stuff, and even tuning it up. And then you're like, "All right, so how's this playing?" It's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like trying to turn on a light switch with a snooker cue. I can look at it and I can see all the technical things that it does, but because it's left-handed, I can't actually play it. I can sort of play a D and a G and stuff like that, but it's like you're strumming it the wrong way around, and if you're not strumming it the wrong way around, you're trying to strum up the way, and it's just got an awful lot of Nothing wrong with it. Hey, there's a car like mine. I don't think he's sporty though. Is mine a multiplex? Can't remember, so that's what the Panda looks like there. Apart from you're actually in mine. Black with the red Panda logo. I'm not going to go to Shawarma King. I'm not. This is it. This is the decision. The decision has not been made until I get to this next. I'm not going to go. I'm starving. I'm not going to go. So I'm sitting there. Should I go to? There's a McDonald's just round the corner for Scott, so I could buy a couple of cheeseburgers. It's only £2. I had a kebab last night, night before. I can't, you know, I'm trying not to be fat. I'm not going to have more than one carry out a week. That's like, I went through a stage of having a few carry-outs. I was working as a delivery driver. Every single Monday night I had a Chinese, every single Tuesday night I had a curry, and then every single Wednesday night I had a chippy, because I worked on a Monday night in a Chinese, and then Tuesday night in a kebab shop, and I used to get kebabs at that kebab shop. Why was that? I had a wee bit of a deal going. They gave you 10%, it was 20% off things, so I would go down and I would get like a cheeseburger for my dinner, which was like a couple of quid, or it might even be a better deal than that, but I would buy it, and then part of my deal was I would get my dinner as well. So when I finished at 11 o'clock at night or whatever it was, I would get like a full-blown curry with a naan bread. I used to go home and watch. I've got some crazy memory of eating a chicken patty with a naan bread, watching Lex, which I've never really seen any more of. It's just a really weird sci-fi thing. This is pre-internet, remember? And you can just watch things that are on. Speaking of watch things that are on, watched The Orville last night. It's good. It's not very funny anymore though. It was sort of mild comedy in it. It's found its own way. I think I watched a thing on it. Seth MacFarlane, the guy who does Family Guy and all that, mad Star Trek fan, he tried to buy the rights to make Star Trek like 10 years ago after Enterprise had finished, and he couldn't get it. So he wanted to actually make Star Trek. He's actually even in Star Trek. He's in one of them. He's just like a random a random crew member. The other random crew members. One of them I remember watching Star Trek Voyager. There's that appearance of that. They're down in the lower decks or whatever it was. People you never really see. And I was like, that's Tom Morello. And it was. Apparently he was a massive Star Trek fan. So even in the talking part, I think he's in a couple of episodes. Tom Morello, like from Rage Against the Machine, like that. Totally looks like him. And then there's like waiting for the credits at the end. What's him? There's Iggy Pop's in one as well as a Vorta. There's a few kind of bizarre things. The best one is Mick Fleetwood is in one of the Star Trek Next Generation ones, one of the very early ones. He was a mad Star Trek fan as well. I think he's musician stuff like that. Can you get me in it? Just anything. Mick Fleetwood is like, you would never ever be able to tell it was him. It's a really, some of the very early Next Generation ones are really bad, and it's like there's these aliens that are, they've kind of got fish heads. There's no they don't have mouths, they don't have, and there's a bit where they're kind of eating fish out of a barrel sort of thing in the Enterprise after coming out of cryogenic sleep or something, and apparently he's one of them. Really? But why? If you're going to have Mick Fleetwood in it, at least do the honourable thing and have him like he is in Running Man, where he plays himself. It's like, pure, yes, they destroyed my music. It's like they just aged him to make him look like he was much older than he was at the time. I think he must be a really funny guy, Mick Fleetwood. Yeah, so I'm just gibbering pish. So I don't care. So I'm still I wonder how Scott's going to like this Ibanez guitar. I really like it. The thing that's getting me is it's like, this my pal Ian's, he's getting some, I don't know how many he's actually got just now, but I must have set up pickups into 20 of his guitars, I would think, and they're generally, he I think he buys quite sensibly, but some of them are really expensive. He had one, I think possibly the most expensive guitar I've ever played. I did play an £8 Les Paul one time in Guitar, I suppose Scott's 69 Strat, but like one that's actually just an expensive guitar. It's not an expensive guitar because it's from the 60s or because it's and there was a Steve Lukather Music Man. I think the list price on that was like £4 or something like that. It's like all these guitars, and lots of them are really expensive, and I think, to be honest, that all the guitars they've ever given me, the cheapest one, okay, not the cheapest one, I did an Ibanez with a mad graphic on, like a single humbucker RG with a sort of, it was white with a sort of pink sort of skull with snakes coming out it. There's a graphic on it. That's pretty cool. Like a G, I think it was maybe even a Geo. Apart from that one, I think this Ibanez that I've got just now is the cheapest one I've ever had off him. And to be honest, I think it's probably my favourite. I don't know how that works. Like how do you work in? I tend to, I don't like cheap guitars as such. I like good value guitars. Do you know what I mean? So I would rather, I don't know, if you're buying a sandwich, a really amazing sandwich, okay, but if it's really amazing but it costs 20 quid, well, 20 quid for a sandwich, whereas if it's like, you know, 3 quid or something for a sandwich and it's really nice, then that's the one that's my favourite sandwich. Obviously you get the law of diminishing returns with all these things. I mean, just Ibanez is just, but Scott doesn't like it. Well, no, I think he will. I'm not sure he'll like the pickups. I felt they were a wee bit, maybe a wee bit bright, but I don't know, I can't get used to it. Just adjust your amp a little bit. I think they weren't wrong. They're not bad. Definitely not bad. Maybe just not if you've got a taste thing. Whereas I kind of don't have any taste. I kind of like, I don't want to get, you know, I don't want all my guitars to sound the same. I do, lots of people do that, there's nothing wrong with it. It's like, you know, I'll buy my specific Seymour Duncan set or my specific bare knuckles, because I put these in all my guitars because they want all the guitars to sound the same and have the same response characteristics. It's like, well, I can sort of see that, but if I had a telly and a Strat, it's like I want the telly to sound like a telly and the Strat to sound like a Strat. I don't want the same thing in each one. Have some sort of difference. It's like I don't know enough, or I'm not committed enough in myself to know that I much prefer that, and that's what I want in all my guitars. And even like, I'm using that as an excuse to keep like that SG stuff, because it's got kind of more vintagey pickups, whereas my SG has like sort of hotter ones, and it's like they're both really good. I like both of them. I would probably, well, I prefer the pickups in my original SG 398s or something they're called. And it's a burst bucker that's in the new one, a burst bucker and a Seymour Duncan, which my pal Ian didn't like, that's why I've got it. Which is fine. It's like, it's different though. There's not like every single situation. Most situations I would rather have the hot pickups, but not every situation. Sometimes the other ones are better. So I don't know where you put the ratios in. Same with the Strats as well. Although I've kind of burnt myself out a little bit with the Strats. That's me now got 3. I'm counting the Ibanez Blazer as a Strat, which it kind of is, even though it's, I was going to say it's made in the same factory. It's made by Dyna, but it's a very similar thing. It's, we have had that and then ended up with a Japanese Photo Flame one, and it was a bit of, kind of have 2 Strats, but the Ibanez has got super hot pickups, and the Photo Flame one has like vintagey pickups. That's enough difference. There's they don't sound exactly the same, so I'll keep it. And then I ended up with that one I got last week or 2 weeks ago, the one with Silly Paint, which is currently getting stripped. That one's got the original pickups in it. It's not really that different from the Photo Flame. It's like 8 years newer, 8 years older. It's got a maple neck though, but so does the Blazer. Discussions. Anyhow, I wonder if I'll be able, probably will just make this into a video. Anyway, put it out. I'm thinking just now, what a crap video, who's going to watch that? But it's like, you're making the dinner or something, you can just have me just talking shit. And it's like, just think how lucky you are watching me in a video rather than actually being stuck in a car with me or stuck talking to me. because basically you can just pause it or turn it off. Whereas if I'm actually at your house, it's like, oh god, I wish you would go away. I'm actually enjoying having a bit of sun. Might even open the window. Wow. Andy? No, not going to be anything interesting on this road because I did this last week. Oh no, I actually just sped up the video last week, even though I talked the whole video. I think it ended up being like an hour long. And I was like, I saw it, so I sped the whole thing up, made it just go and stopped when I was getting a kebab. I don't know if anyone actually watched that. Didn't even put it out. Am I talking to myself? Am I going mad? A little bit. I wasn't allowed to be mad. It's like, the Mad and Mad Malcolm was meant to be like Mad Max or something, where I was like kind of, oh, doing crazy things with guitars, but it could be actually mad, as in proper insane. Watch it, I might stab you for no reason at all. Don't do stabbing. Would definitely be more of a slash. Anyhow, I'll stop talking rubbish now.